Hi guys, my name is Becca, welcome back to my channel, and I am here with another reading update. So last week I told you guys, or I was showing you guys that I was reading 3 books, and first one being A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. This is the sequel to An Ember in the Ashes. I actually finished all 3 of these books on the same day, on Saturday. It's funny that way. But I finished this one and I really enjoyed it. I gave this 4 stars. This is a sequel, so I can't really go into any depth about this, but I will say that this incorporated some mythological beings, which I didn't see coming, and I was really excited for that. I love any use of mythology, really, or, yeah, mythological beings, and it did have a little bit of magic that I didn't see coming, and I am really excited to see where the rest of the series goes, or the last 2 books go, but yeah, this was really good. I gave this 4 stars. I am really happy that I have decided to continue on with the series, and I can't wait to read the 3rd book. I really enjoyed this. Also, this one gives you another perspective, so we usually just get Elias and Leia, their perspectives, which is Elias and Leia, but this one we actually got Helene, which she was not my favorite character in the first book, but I found a newfound respect for her in this one, and I felt really bad for her towards the end. Things happen. I will say that this book incorporates a lot of brutality. Just don't expect it to be fluffy. With this kind of book, you really don't. And, I mean, I don't want to throw shade at Adrienne Young with A Sky in the Deep and Girl the Sea Gave Back, but, you know, those kind of books need to have a level of brutality, and with Sky in the Deep, you know, I could overlook that because of, you know, the fact that I love that book so much, but with Girl the Sea Gave Back, you need a little bit more, just say. And then the second book was The 10,000 Doors of Jane. Did I? Yeah, I put up the, keep doing that. The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow, however you say his name. This actually just came out today, and I need to write my review for this. So this one we follow January, and she lives with this, this billionaire, this really rich older man. January's father works for that guy. He travels the world finding artifacts for this guy's collection, and so January stays with him. And this is set in the early 1900s. So that was, yeah, that was, like, I didn't expect this to be set so far back, and that's me, but, it kind of threw me a little. Once I realized the timeline, though, I was like, okay, so this is how it's gonna be. Because, yeah, like, the writing style, I was just like, wait, so this is set in the past? Like, where are we? I thought this was gonna be a fantasy, but it is set in the real world, but this is a portal fantasy. I'm not explaining this very well. Really not. But yeah, it's set in 1900s. We follow January, who lives with this billionaire, and her father travels the world to find artifacts for this guy's collection. And when January was young, she came across a door that leads to another world. And you don't really get too much of that until she is 17, and that's where the story really takes off. And you end up finding, like, more doors. You end up finding out what, you know, everything is all about, why there are these doors, what's going on, and things like that. You get to find out who January really is, where she really comes from. She is mixed race. Her father is black, her mother is white. And she doesn't know her mother. She's never, her mother isn't with them. And, yeah, she really doesn't know where she comes from, or who her mother is, and who her family really is. She only knows her father and this billionaire. that's really about it. I can't say anything more because of spoilers. I will say this is a portal fantasy, and I wanted to see more of the other worlds. Like, you get to hear about them, you get to glimpse, you get a glimpse of them, but you don't really get to travel through these worlds. It's all told to you. And I'm just like, I really wanted more of that. And even though in Every Heart a Doorway, by Shauna Maguire, how that one is told to you, there are books in that series that you get to actually witness these other worlds, and you get to see it through the eyes of your characters, but still, like, you're in these other worlds and you're traveling through them, where in this one, you didn't really get to travel that much into a different world. And that kind of, lessened my enjoyment of this. It was really hard to get into for me, for like the first bit of it. I'd say like the first 150 pages, because I really don't know the page. Like, I know this is 380 pages, but I didn't have a page count. I just had a percentage count, because I did get an advanced reader's copy from NetGalley. And so I will say, like, this did take me a little bit to get into it. And then there is a book that January reads, and you're reading along with her. So you get chapters of that book. And at first, I really didn't care for that either. I was just like, why are we, like, I'm already struggling with this book. Don't throw another book in there and have me struggle with that too. But I will say it does get better later on, like after maybe the 150 page count, or the 150 page mark. I will say, like, both books do tend to get better, and you do get to learn actually more about things. So I did enjoy this by the end, but this is a 3-star book for me. Maybe 3.5. I didn't love this as much as I wanted to. But it was still enjoyable, and I do still recommend this. If you enjoy Portal Fantasy, which I do, just don't expect there to be a whole lot of other worlds. At least going into these other worlds, you do get to hear more about them, but you don't get to witness them for yourself. So yeah, that's like a 3.5 star for me. Alright, and then the last book I finished on Friday, the last book I was telling you guys I was reading last week, or Saturday, is The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. Obviously this is a reread. Obviously this is a book I love. This is obviously a 5-star book. Okay? This is why. So I was reading this for Sarathon, which is a readathon that is hosted by Melissa from Melissa and Barnsey and Shannon from the Book Chronicle, I believe. And yeah, Sarathon is all about reading Sarah J. Maas's books. We started with Assassin's Blade last week, and I just annotated the crap out of it. Like, you can see, I don't even know if there's a page where I didn't annotate. I do have a key, which I wrote out for the entire series. I just kept it in the Assassin's Blade. But yeah, this key is for all the annotations, so I guess I'll just go over those really quick. I'm sorry if it is hard to hear me. I am kind of sick. Not too sick, but I can't talk well right now. I have a bit of a sore throat, and it is kind of hard to talk. But, I'm sorry if I sound off. So obviously for Pink Tab, we have love moments, just like, it doesn't have to be romantic relationship moments. It can just be like friendships, where I think I might have a few tabs for that. Just any scenes really that I just find are adorable or that I love, or are about like relationships, I Pink Tab it. Also favorite moments. So I have a few Pink Tabs up top, which I got from April from Aprilius Maximus. I don't know if she came up with that or if she got that from somebody, but that's who I got it from. And you just tab your favorite moment, or like your favorite scene up top. So that's Pink Tab. And then we have yellow, which is funny moments, anything that makes me laugh or I just find very funny. Green is angry, anything that I am angry about or like my characters are angry about. Blue is sad, so anything I would either cry or I just find really sad, obviously. So those are like the, yeah, so those are like the really obvious ones. Orange I have for relatable, because I do find Selena to be a little bit relatable in some aspects, not in all. I'm not an assassin. I wish I kind of was, but I don't want to go through the things that she goes through, I will say. But yeah, I have for relatable, but I also have for just Selena moments that I find where she is awesome or a badass, or I just love Selena so much. I literally love her character more than anything. And I just, any moment where I'm just like, that's my girl, that's an orange moment. I do have the 2 purple tabs. I have, so the 2 purple. The dark purple I have for plot threads, where I find, so throughout the series, you're going to witness that there are scenes that were almost like pretty much mentioned in the very beginning or were alluded to in the very beginning, or characters that you're going to see that will make like a bigger impact. That's purple. And I will say Assassin's Blade has so many dark purple, because there are a lot of moments in here where I'm just like, okay, yeah, that'll come up later. Okay. But yeah, just like big moments or plot threads, I have big dark purple. For light purple, I have quotes or just lines that I just really like. And then for red, I have character death. And I will say, there's quite a few red as well. There's not, I mean, I have quite a few of every single color in this. I literally have every color. Like, there's no color I did not use. And that's how much I love this series. And yeah, I absolutely love this. This is obviously a 5-star. So for the books that I'm reading, oh no wait, I did read one more book. One more book that I didn't tell you guys about. I just, it's a short romance, so, oh no wait, I did not read it there. Hold on. I read it here. Sorry, guys. There it is. So I read Sheik's Desire by Anna Kate. So this is on Scribd. I just needed a really short romance, because I was in the mood for it and I didn't want to read a like full-length novel. So I just wanted a really short, smutty romance. So I found Sheik's Desire. And this is about, we follow our main character, Gabriella, who just recently got accepted for this job where she's going to make, you know, really good money, and it's going to be really great prospects and everything. She's so excited. So yeah, she just got hired, and her and her best friend end up going out to celebrate. So they go to this club, and she meets this guy, Haman. And Haman and her just like strike it off completely. They end up talking, and yeah, they end up making out for a while. Her car doesn't start, so he ends up taking her back to his place. They end up having sex, and it's just supposed to be like a one night, just like a one night stand kind of thing, at least for her. And then later on, like after everything, either the next day or a few days later, she ends up, you know, starting her new job, and she sees him again because he's her boss. And please tell me this is not, Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. There's more to it, but it doesn't say who he is. So I'm not going to, yeah, I'm not gonna spoil that. But, yeah, so he's her boss, and of course everything just spirals out of control after that. This is a very short romance, so obviously you have to expect a certain level of insta-love, which I think there wasn't exactly too much insta-love, at least in the beginning. It was just, like, a level of attraction. It was supposed to be a one-night stand for her, and, like, that was it. But, of course he wants more, kind of thing. And, yeah, so it was, like, I will say, for, like, I've read shorter romance, like, short, smutty books, and I will say there's a lot more smut in those. This one didn't have a whole lot. The smut scenes were alright. I mean, they were decent. So it wasn't great. I think I gave that like 2.5 to 3 stars. It was just okay. You know, I enjoyed it for what it was. So yeah, for the books that I am reading, let's just go to that. I did start another short romance, and this one I've actually heard things about, and I've heard decent things about, and that is Queen Takes Knights by Jolie Sue Burkhart, I think. This is a vampire smut romance. So we follow our main character, Shara. Yeah, we follow Shara, and she is on the run from these monsters that are that are hunting her down. They've killed her parents. She's on the run. She doesn't know why. She doesn't know anything about like what she is or who she is. All she knows is that she gets her period a lot, and she's on the run. So she ends up coming across these two vampires that don't want to hurt her. They actually want to protect her, and they let her know that she is a vampire queen. She comes from a long line of vampire queens, and she has immense power. But, yeah. It's really a vampire smutty romance. They get to having sex really quick. Literally, it's, I'm on the run from these monsters. Oh, look, these two guys want to protect me. Let's have sex. Oh, I'm a vampire? Let's have sex. Kind of thing. So, it is good so far. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to say this is the greatest thing I've ever read, but it is what it is, and so far, it's enjoyable. Some moments, I'm just like, really? Okay. Like, okay. That's fine. I do know, like, Riley from Riley Marie, she read it, I think she gave it, like, 3 stars. I'm probably gonna give it 3 stars. I don't expect a lot from short smut, just because I'm like, it's short. It's not going to have a whole lot of, like, substance or plot. But really, I am just looking for something mindless, just something, you know, enjoyable right now. Because I am reading quite a bit of fantasy, and yeah. So the other book that I'm reading is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, which, I mean, obviously these are, like, enjoyable. I love these books to death. So, fun fact about this one. I have reread it once. I've reread it once. So I read this first 7 years ago, I think, when it first came out, and then I read it again 3 years ago before I continued on with the series, because I didn't continue on that around the time when it first came out. I waited years, like 4 years. I still can't believe I read this 7 years ago, and then read it again 3 years ago. Huh. It's fine. So, it was just weird. So, yeah. I have never read this after continuing on. I've only read it before. So, it is, like, fun. Like, you know, I never got to really notice the moments that come up where I'm just like, oh, yeah, that'll come up. Like, that'll come up later. But, like, I don't even remember most of this. Like, there are there's just some very little moments. Like, I do have some dark purple in there. There's just some little moments that either make sense from the Assassin's Blade, which technically this came first. This came after Throne of Glass. I think this is actually after Crown of Midnight. But it's a prequel novella, and it follows everything that happens before this, leading up to the very beginning of this. So there are some dark purple that lead to Assassin's Blade. So I just put those, or leads to moments that you will find out in Heir of Fire and Queen of Shadows. So I do tab those. There is quite a bit of character death, because I do have some red. We've already lost a few people, which this is for the competition to become the King's Champion, and everybody pretty much dies. So expect a whole lot of red. There are some really great Celaena moments in this. My favorite scene is when she's in the salt mines of Endovier, and when, like, after, okay, so for the salt mines of Endovier, it is for slaves. It's a slave mine. And, oh, by the way, I put the sticker in there that I got from a box. Okay, I'm done. So nobody really survives. After you're taken to this, to the mines, you pretty much, you die within a month. Celaena lived a year. Within a few months, after I think 4 months of her being there, yeah, she snapped. I love her so much. You find out the reason why she snaps later, but she snapped, and she killed an overseer in 23 centuries before they caught her, and she was a finger's tip from the wall before the guards knocked her unconscious. So she was just about to escape. She didn't actually want to escape, she just wanted to kill people. And I love that Dorian's just like, so, what? And she's just like, dude, from my shaft, it was 363 feet. I had someone measure it. That's oh. And then Dorian still doesn't get, like, why is this such a great, why is this important? Like, why should we congratulate you for doing this? Like, I don't understand why this is, a thing. And she's just like, she asks Chaol, how far do slaves make it from the mines when they try to escape? Like, the rest of the slaves. How far do they usually make it, when they're trying to escape? 3 feet. She made it 360 feet more than that. And, of course I had to freaking orange tab that. I love that scene so much, and that's one of the scenes I remember so much from this one. I'm just like, she's a freaking badass. She's my girl. Like, I love her so much. Also, there's the stuff that, like, I would laugh at. It's probably not the greatest, but I would laugh at it. And there's a lot about, like, books and reading, because she's my reader, and I love her. And when she sends when she sends a letter to Dorian asking for permission to take books out from his personal library, because, she's bored and she wants to read. And it's like, it's not fair that the only two that gets to read are the king and the prince. Like, come on. Like, it's a library. I want to read. Let me get some books. And Dorian sends books from his personal collection. Oh my god. Another thing that was really funny about this, when I first read this, so, when you're first reading this, it's pretty much a love triangle between Celaena, Dorian, and Chaol. And you're just like, okay, who is she gonna pick? Who are we gonna want her to be with? And to be completely honest, when I first read this, even, like, the next time I read this, I didn't really want her to be with either of them. But if I had to choose, I would choose Dorian. Because, I don't know, like, Dorian's a reader. Even though I did find out Chaol was also a reader. But at the beginning, Dorian was a reader. and he didn't piss me off. Kale pissed me off. And I will say Kale actually continues to piss me off. And even though I know, what happens, in Crown of Midnight and things, I still wanted her, like, if she had to be with somebody, I would be like, look, just be with Dorian. He's a prince. Knowing what I know now, I probably would have chosen Kale. Knowing what I know now. But, to be freaking completely honest, I don't want her to be with either one of them. Which is why I'm so glad this didn't become a love triangle between those three. And when you find out about Sam in this book, I was like, she's got to be with Sam. Like, he's the one for her until, you remember from this book what happens to Sam, and then you're just like, great, now it's back to either Dorian or Kale. Well, shoot, I don't really want her to be with either one of them. Like, Dorian is such a freaking, like, womanizer. He's a player. And Kale is just like a stoic asshole sometimes. Excuse my language. I'm like, I don't really care for either one of them, but they both like to read. That's not fair. Like, that's literally what I was going through. And then, thank God for Air of Fire. When you find the one person she should be with, I was just like, that's perfect. I'm done. Rowan all the way. My baby, my baby, my baby Rowan. That's Rowan. He is my man. And I'm so glad that this didn't become a love triangle, because I probably would not have liked this series as much if it was the love triangle. So yeah, I should probably tell you, I am on chapter 19, 137 pages, into Throne of Glass. I still have to read my section for today, because I am reading them as sections. And then for Queen Takes Knights, let's just have a glance at where I'm at here. Because this is only like an hour long. An hour and a half long on Kindle. Like, it tells you how long you have to read the book, or how long it should take you to read it. So I'm 39% in, and I have like an hour and 3 minutes, of the book left. So, not bad. But those are the 2 books that I'm reading. Those were the 4 books that I completed last week. And, yeah, that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again later. Happy reading!